Now we can move on to the smallest of the four datasets, sea levels. The sea level is the height of the river at a certain time. This test took place at the Battery in New York City. The height was monitored over the course of 170 years from 1850 to 2020. I think they posted the end results 5 years later to see what the students might predict would happen over the next 5 years. Over the past century, the global mean sea level, or GMSL, has risen by 4 to 8 inches. However, the annual rate of rise over the past 20 years has been 0.13 inches a year, roughly twice the average speed of the preceding 80 years. Over the past century, the burning of fossil fuels and other human and natural activities has released enormous amounts of heat-trapping gases into the atmosphere. These emissions have caused the Earth's surface temperature to rise, and the oceans absorb about 80% of this additional heat. When water heats up, it expands. About half of the past century's rise in sea levels is a tribute to warmer oceans simply occupying more space. Here are some of the problems caused by high sea levels. Loss of natural resources and ecosystems. This could be the sea levels rising and washing away nutrients for the fish, as we talked about before, or living things such as plants or microanimals. Increased flooding. The sea levels rising high, which can cause floods. Increased load on wastewater systems. When there is more water, the wastewater treatment plants, which we've talked about, have lots of water to treat and clean. Too much water can take up time to clean, or damage or overpower or overheat it. Increased contamination in bodies of water. The more water to be contaminated with waste, which raises the suspended solids. Sewage overflows. Water that goes into the sewers will stay there. More water can add up in those sewers and overflow out of the manholes. Can cause stress on fish and other aquatic life trying to survive. Too much water pressure on fish can collapse their lungs and make them go unconscious. Can be harmful to fish and wildlife. Intense precipitation and flooding can carry disease, which fish and animals eat, and then they get sick. The fish are also exposed to more contaminated water, as in one of the previous problems. And they can often carry disease due to intense precipitation and flooding carrying bacteria. The rain, flooding, and other water which adds to the sea level can carry bacteria, which would be a disease, which can harm fish and wildlife. Now we can read the sea level graph. Once again, the measuring scale is on the side and is measured in meters. 1 meter equals about 3.3 feet, and 1 foot is about 0.3 meters. And the time span is at the bottom, ranging from 1850 to 2020. The plot shows the monthly average sea level. Each line represents 1 month of the 170 years. This graph also has a linear trend. This is the average trend from start to finish. The sea level had increased over time since 1850 and broke the sea level barrier around 1990. It kept going up and was still increasing after 2010. Predictions show that by 2020, the Hudson River could experience a rise as high as 5 to 10 inches, and 55 inches, that's almost 5 feet, by the end of the century. Here's a trend that I noticed. The sea level seems to be constantly increasing, about 2 inches per year. At this point, we are done with the sea levels. Now let's take everything that we've talked over already and let's see what changes the fish populations.